Welcome to Center Court. I'm your host, Alex Meacham. I want to thank everybody out there for watching our shows in the past. We've gotten a lot of great feedback on Twitter and Instagram. And once again, it's Center Court TV. You can go check us out on Instagram, send us any note on Twitter. Also, our email is centercourttv@gmail.com. Now, I must thank everybody here at ACTV. Sam Dunn, Andy Crozier, Shane Reinert, and Nikki Bishop. I want to thank them for all their hard work. So today, we have two special guests. And first off, I want to start with Mitchell McDowell. Mitch, how you doing?
Good, thanks for having me.
Good. Now, let me before we go into anything about you, I noticed you have on Jordans. On the Jordan Spizikes. I respect that.
It was a birthday present from my parents, so
okay.
Kind of had to stick with the Spizike pair. I wanted a pair that cost $175 instead of the $80 ones you get at Champs.
Right.
So,
That looks good. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Mitch McDowell. I went to school at Covington Catholic High School. I played football for 4 years there, played basketball for 2 years. I played my freshman football season in college at Thomas More in Northern Kentucky, and right now I'm currently enrolled at the University of Louisville.
So let's talk a little bit about high school. All right, you went through a lot of things in high school, and for a lot of the kids that are out there, you know, you think about high school and you think about playing basketball or football for 4 years, and you dream of everything going perfectly. Well, everything didn't go that way for you. You played 4 years of football.
All right.
And 2 years of basketball. Mm-hmm. Tell everybody a little bit about what you went through.
Originally, my whole life I wanted to play college basketball and had everybody's dream of playing in the NBA. And about after my first football season at Covington Catholic, I started changing my mind. I wanted to play football, but I wanted to stick with basketball throughout high school. Mm-hmm. Had a really good basketball season my freshman year at CovCath. I played AAU basketball for Shining Stars.
Of course.
I tore my ACL meniscus my freshman year. It was in the spring at a scrimmage for the program.
And that was 2009?
That was in 2009, yes.
Okay. So that was the first injury?
That was the first injury.
All right.
I spent a lot of hours at physical therapy. Ended up actually getting the starting spot my sophomore year as a wide receiver for CovCath, but because of the injury, I sat out and was never really able to be fully released until the end of the season. Played another basketball season at CovCath. I was fully released, played the entire season there. Went on to the spring basketball AAU with Shining Stars again. In the middle of the tryout at the callbacks, I tore my meniscus in 3 different places. I played through it and didn't really know what happened until I went and got it checked out the next day.
Right.
So,
and that was March of 2010.
That was March of 2010, yes.
Okay.
I ended up going to the doctors for that, got that checked out, found out that I needed needed surgery again for that. I spent, I think, 3 to 4 months in rehab, was finally released, and was able to actually start my junior football season, and ended up tearing my ACL, MCL, and meniscus that football season about halfway through and missed the playoffs. That was about a 9-month recovery. And then I was released before my senior season started, ended up playing the entire senior season, had a really great year, and went on to play my freshman year at Thomas More.
So you went through 3, and this was all to your left knee.
This was all on my
correct?
left knee, yes.
So, you know, basically being a football player and trying to play basketball as well, it's important that, you know, you laterally move well, you know, you run quickly and all those things. And this sets you back a lot. Mm-hmm. But mentally, what did it do to you?
I mean, definitely sports has always been a big passion of mine. I've always cared a lot about being able to play. I'm a really competitive kid. So every time, I mean, after every single injury, I was on the verge of tears when the doctor would come talk to me. I didn't really take it much further than that doctor's visit every time. I kind of started to mentally prepare myself in the car on the way home. Mm-hmm. Got a lot of time to talk to my dad, and I mean, he gave me a lot of really great insight as to looking at this as a positive, coming back stronger than before. I mean, you hear that all the time on Sports Center, they're always talking about, oh, Kevin Ware for the University of Louisville basketball team breaking his leg in half, and I mean they're saying he's going to come back stronger than he was before. So I mean I really kind of like to look at it like that and see the bright side out of any kind of negative situation like that.
Sure. Now I know a lot of kids that would be in your position if they go through just one injury. You know, some of them just say, you know, I'm done with it. I'm done with sports. Some of them can't overcome that. You've had to go through it 3 times. Where do you find that strength to just keep going and keep pushing? Because beyond high school, you know, you kept pushing to rehab and you wanted to play at the college level for football.
I mean, it really came down to what my doctor told me. It was either a yes or no question. Can I play sports after this injury? And I mean, if he said no, I mean, I'm just going to rehab my leg and get back to living my life without sports, I guess. But every single time he said yeah, and I mean, it was just keeping my eye on my dream was to play college football. So I kind of just stuck with the phrase of keep your eye on the prize, and that kind of helped me push through everything. I mean, definitely looking at the big picture as opposed to the small picture, such as the big picture being playing the sports that I love, as opposed to the small picture of all this 2 hours of rehab is just such a pain in the butt that I don't want to do it. I just kind of avoided the small picture and stuck with the big one.
At what point did you want to quit the most? You've had 3 of them, 2009, 2 in 2010. Which one made you want to quit the most? Just say, forget this.
I guess there really wasn't a specific injury that really made me want to quit the most. I think more so the rehab after my last injury. They had to do a lot more because I've already had certain tendons removed from the previous injuries. The last surgery made it really hard to move my leg at first, and there was a lot of pain that I went through for the first like 2 months or so. But other than that, I really didn't have any desire to quit. I always just wanted to stick to getting back and playing sports.
And an interesting thing about having you on the show is obviously we've dealt with a lot of basketball, but really with you, your story's more football now. It started off a lot basketball.
Right.
So you get to Thomas More, and you're a punter at Thomas More. You started?
Yes, sir.
Your first year, right?
Yep.
And then you decided to leave Thomas More.
Right.
Why?
I mean, playing college football was definitely a dream of mine. Playing at the Division I level where the competition is at its best was a passion of mine. I mean, I really wanted to go out and play the best of the best and improve myself. So, I mean, Thomas More did get me to where I really prepared myself and wanted to be, and I enjoyed the football there. But it was really just that passion and that drive to play Division I football that made me make the decision to go to Louisville.
And so you decided just to go out and say, I'm going to transfer to Louisville and just try to walk on and give myself an opportunity to try to reach my dream.
Right.
Correct?
Yep.
Now, and I think that's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on the show. And not only have you overcome injuries, but I think more importantly is even after all those things, 3 years, 4 years later, you're still trying to reach that goal of being a walk-on punter for Louisville. And you tried that this year. It didn't work out for you this year.
No, it didn't.
And knowing you as well as I know you, you're not going to stop until you reach that, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Still plan on walking on, trying out in January for the spring season. So.
And you called me. I won't forget this call. You called me when you were trying to get to a walk-on meeting at Louisville for the football, and you were help me remember the story. But wasn't there like a marathon going on or something, and you couldn't get through?
Right. There's an annual Ironman competition. I think it was a triathlon it runs through the city of Louisville, and I said, being very new to the city, I didn't really have any other ideas where to go as opposed to being able to drive right through the streets. I had probably a 5-minute drive to the stadium. This marathon that was going on kind of cut everything off, and I had to go around the entire thing. It was outside of the city, and I had to go off of 2 different interstates, and it just kind of had me lost. So I ended up having to just park my car about 4 minutes before this interview started.
And you ran, didn't you?
And I sprinted all the way there. And I mean, it was the pain. I showed up about, let's say, 15 to 20 minutes late to the meeting. Doors were locked. I was banging on the door.
They wouldn't let you in?
One of the previous players that actually works at the stadium now, He said, sorry, but the meeting's already started. There's nothing we can do to let you in. So I ended up not being able to get into the meeting to explain everything, the process of what we needed to bring to the tryout and all the medical papers. So I actually just decided to sit there and wait and see if I could ever end up talking to a real coach that ran the meeting. About 25 to 30 minutes after that, the coach that recruited me to Louisville ended up coming out and gave me a little bit of heat when he started saying, "Hey, Mitch, what are you doing here? Or why are you late? What are you doing out here instead of in there?" And I tried to explain the whole situation. I said, "Coach, this is what happened. I have no idea how to get to the stadium besides this one route, and it was blocked off, and I just ended up having to park my car and sprint here so I could be here on time." And he ended up just accepting me into the meeting, took me in, and ran me through everything on the side so I could catch up with the rest of the group.
And so I think what our audience, and especially our young people out there, need to take away from this is you never quit when you had the injuries. And then even with the situation with chasing your dream to being a walk-on football player at Louisville, you were not allowed in that meeting at first. They did let you in, but you didn't end up making it as a walk-on. And just knowing you, I have a feeling, everybody out there, I want to have you on the show again. And I think next time I have you on, you'll be a member of that Louisville football team. Because I know how your heart is, and you're not going to give up. And so a couple things I want to do before we leave. One, I need you to get you to sign this basketball.
Okay.
Everybody that comes on the show has to sign the basketball. And then I ask everybody that comes on a Jay-Z related question, because everybody out there knows Jay-Z is my favorite rapper of all time. So I ask you a Jay-Z question. Are you ready for that?
I hope so.
Going to be able to handle it?
We'll see what I can do.
Okay, this is an easy one. I've asked some tough ones before, but this one's the easy one, I think. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
What is Jay-Z's newest album called? This is easy. You got it.
I mean, I want to say Magna Carta, the Holy Grail, as long as I don't miss it.
You got it. Very good. No, that was good. That was an easy one.
Yep.
The other thing I want to do is, I like to learn about new things. So I'd like to actually go out to the field and have you teach me how to punt. Because I think I could probably punt better than you, right?
I don't think you have a chance, to
be
honest. No.
Okay. We're going to see about that. We're going to take it out to the field. You show me how to punt, and I'm going to show you that I'm better than you at punting.
All right.
That sound good?
Sounds good to me.
So everybody out there, stay tuned. We're going to head to the field, and I'm going to show Mitch how to punt. This is Alex Meacham. Welcome back to Center Court. Like I said before, we've got Mitchell McDowell on the show, and we're going to come out to the field here. We're here at McNick High School. We're going to learn a little bit about punting. I'm going to learn a little bit about punting. So Mitch, why don't you talk a little bit about what it takes to be a good punter, your technique, your style, all that good stuff.
I mean, a lot of people look at punting as it being pretty basic. It's not very important to a football team in general. Punting's probably one of the more detailed positions on the football team. There's a lot of little things you got to do right for the big picture to come together. I mean, basically the most important things are dropping the ball flat, keeping your toe pointed, and trying to get a spiral punted off rather than having it kind of flip around in the air.
Why don't you talk a little bit about the shoes you need to wear when you punt?
You get a little bit more of an advantage with some soccer cleats, a little bit flatter than your receiver cleats or alignment cleats. I don't know, these are made with, they've got kangaroo leather on them, so it gets a little more pop off your foot when you kick.
Kangaroo leather.
So, other than that, I mean, you can kick with just about any shoe.
Now, what's your longest punt?
Line of scrimmage, I think it was 57 yards.
57 yards? Okay. Well, why don't you show us a little bit? Why don't you go back, kick, and then I'll top your kicks. You gotta get loose. I didn't get loose. I just kicked it. See, I don't need to get loose. So tell me a little bit now. Now tell me what you need to do when you punt. So.
I mean, a lot of the punters that I've worked with say you want to keep the point. They call this the pocket.
Right.
You want to stick the point in the pocket. Just have it a little bit turned in. You don't want it straight. You want the ball just turned a little bit. So when you drop it flat and your toes pointed a little bit inside as well, it's going to hit off the outside of your foot. You just kind of roll off your foot in like a spiral position.
So you turn it.
Right, but you got to keep the ball flat. So when you drop it, it's going to bounce like that instead of...
So like this?
Yes.
And then it hits the side of your foot. So why don't you show me? Go ahead. So, as you were saying, hold it flat,
Yes.
turn.
A little too much. Right here, corner in the pocket.
All right. Drop flat,
Drop flat.
kick on the side. Show me again. And then I'll show you how to. Oh, so you're going to back up? Disrespectful intern. All right, let me show you. Right, Mitch? That's good? Look at that. Look at that. That was good. That was good. That's a great kick. That's a great kick. Good catch, Drew. So Mitch, let me ask you, and then with punting, with all your injuries, I know it's probably been, tough recovering from that. Have you ever been injured? I know you got injured with basketball and other ways, but have you actually ever been injured punting the football?
I've had one hamstring tweak, but nothing major.
Nothing major?
Sat one day out of practice.
So nothing like Kevin Huber from the Bengals when he kicked it and then he thought he was like big and strong and tried to like run through and the guy just. So did you see that?
Yeah, oh yeah, I saw it.
Were you thinking like what is he doing? Like why would you run? You play on the Steelers. Like what? Yeah, his neck was all messed. Hey, who they? Who they think they're gonna hit that punter? So yeah, how you doing? We were just talking about blenders. So how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm well. I didn't know you. Thank you. I didn't know you were coming a little bit. I wasn't making fun of you or anything like that. Right?
Cool.
Good. Yeah. So we've got. You're welcome. So we've got Mitchell right here, and you had a chance to watch him punt a little bit. You got any advice for him as far as punting?
Yeah, punting, when you come down to it, it's simple when you break it down as a punter, and watching him a little bit. He's sometimes lets the ball a little bit too early, and but he's got good swing, good form. Just hold the ball a little bit longer and swing up through the ball, and get good hang time, good distance, he'll be good to go.
When you not to rehash the injury, but when it happened, do you even remember it? Mm-hmm. You do?
Yeah, I remember everything. I remember getting hit and be on the ground. I didn't know my neck was broken. We didn't know that until after we actually came back from the hospital. But I knew something was wrong with my jaw right away because there's so much blood coming out. And when we got a locker room, we had a doctor take a look at it, and something was broken. But yeah, I remember everything. Remember the hit. Remember what the doctor telling me, and remember hearing the fans cheering because they scored a touchdown on me. So wasn't the best feeling down there, but
right,
it is what it is.
So when you get healthy, are you down with that one-on-one game?
Yeah, whatever you want.
Okay, so everybody out there, you heard that. So on one of the episodes of Center Court, Kevin Huber and I are going to go one-on-one. Now, I don't mind taking it to the field, and we can, have a little punting contest. You saw me punt a little bit. I've got a lot of potential, don't you think?
Not at all.
Not at all?
No.
I appreciate that, man.
No problem.
Hope you enjoy your Steeler blender. Well, appreciate everybody tuning in to this episode of Center Court, and please tune back in. Thanks. Welcome back to Center Court. I'm Alex Meacham, your host, and I want to thank Mitchell McDowell for coming on the show. And our next guest is Nick Crusat. Nick, welcome to Center Court.
Thank you.
And so before we started, you said you have on better shoes than me?
Yes.
What shoes do you have on there?
Galaxy KDs.
Galaxy KDs, but these are Jordan, Michael, the greatest player of all time. Nick.
Well.
The greatest, okay? We got that? Everybody out there knows that?
As of now.
Yeah, whatever. So tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
I'm Nick Crusat. I go to Covington Catholic. In 2014, I'm committed to Findlay.
Good. So you transferred in to I'm sorry, I want to say Cincinnati, but our show today, by the way, are kids from Kentucky, with Mitch and with Nick, so we went over the river. So you came into Covcath. Tell everybody where you came from and all that history.
I came from St. Anthony High School in Jersey City, and that year I was there, my freshman year, we won the national championship with like Kyle Anderson at UCLA and then Miles Mack at Rutgers and a lot of other great players. But coming here from there is a big jump and just like basketball-wise pretty much. And coming here at JV, I averaged about 4 points at St. Anthony's, and then coming here first year, sophomore year, averaging 18. It's a big difference.
Yeah, so it's a big jump. So socially, how different was it?
Oh, going to school I was literally the only white kid there, and then coming here and there's literally only like one black kid there, so it's a lot different.
Right. Mm-hmm. So basketball-wise, what's been the biggest transition for you, if any? I mean, do you feel like it's been easier here for you?
I kind of liked it a little bit more in New Jersey, the role I had, because I would just have to dish the balls and my guys would make me look really good. And then here I put on more of a role of the scorer, point guard, than pass first, but it doesn't really matter.
Sure. So our intern, one of our interns this year is Drew Mays. Drew, and you guys played Drew last year. Now, he told me he dropped 25 points on you guys. Is that right, Drew? Drew's in the back there, 25? But you guys won.
Yeah.
Correct? How many did you have that game?
That was a 1,000-point game, I think, just 21.
You had 1,000 points on Drew?
On the whole.
Oh, okay. So let's talk a little bit about your commitment to Findlay. So through the recruitment process, and I want our audience out there, especially our young people, as they have dreams to play, Division I, Division II, even Division III basketball. Just what was the process as far as how you figured out what school you wanted to go to, some of the things you thought about?
Well, my dad always told me just go where you're really wanted, and Findlay's been there since last year, and they went to like 6 games last year, and no other colleges like Walford and Elon, they went to like 1 or 2, but Findlay came down whenever they could, and they first ones to offer me. And it's close to my hometown, Sandusky, Ohio, and that's only like an hour from there, and it's 2.5 hours from here, so my whole family can come and see me, and it's a big part of why I committed.
So a big part was your family being able to watch you?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So your father is the head coach of Covington Catholic. So how was that to play for your father?
I mean, it's not easy for sure. You're the main guys coming at everything. One thing goes wrong, he's making you run or kicking you out of practice just to show that he doesn't care that it's your dad. But in the end, he's just pushing me because he knows I can take it. But it's been great so far.
He doesn't make you like run sprints at home, does he? Or
No.
Does he make you
when home, basketball's off usually, but when we get on the court, then it's back on.
Okay. So do you feel any type of pressure when you play with your dad being the coach and with your teammates? Do you feel any of that, or you just go out and play?
I just don't really think about that at the moment. I just go out there and play and just hope everything goes my way. And I don't really think about it, honestly.
Okay. Now, you being one of the top guards, not only in Northern Kentucky, but also in the Cincinnati area, you're one of the finest guards around. What are some of the things that you've done to help make yourself a better basketball player? I mean, you're a pretty skilled guy. If anybody gets an opportunity to watch him play, you're very skilled. What are some of the things that you've done to get to that level?
Say every sophomore year, junior year, for like the first 2 months, I would go in early to school, like 6 a.m. We just get on the gun, or either it's basketball, ball handling drills. Ever since like 7th or 8th grade, I've always got up in the morning and worked out before school. I just like the feeling of it, and that's pretty much how it just all started. In 7th, 8th grade, I really took it seriously because I knew I was going to St. Anthony's. I knew the only way I'd be able to play if I went really hard.
Who was the best player you've ever played with?
St. Anthony's, I'd probably say Tyshawn Taylor.
Okay.
Plays for the Nets.
Okay. Yep. It's pretty big time. Mm-hmm. Now, you remind me of a guard that used to play back in the day, and you might have heard this before, but you remind me a little bit of John Stockton.
Oh.
Have you heard that before?
Heard it with the shorts, for sure.
Yeah. And so, for the people that get a chance to watch him play, he wears really short shorts like John Stockton. Yeah. So, why now? John Stockton wore him in a time where it was kind of like everybody wore him. But when people started to go the long shorts with Jordan John Stockton kept wearing them, so it was like he looked a little different. Why do you wear the short shorts?
Well, St. Anthony's small size that was an extra large, and it had no string in it, so I couldn't tighten them. So I just have to roll them to keep them up on me. So I had to roll them like 3 times, and I just wore them like that. And I was just like, I might as well just keep it going because I like the feeling of not just the way it felt and everything, and just played well in it.
Gotcha. So, and I've got to be honest with you, but the first time I saw you play, I was at a game and you came out and somebody said, "Oh, he's pretty good." And I looked at you and I was like, "There's no way this kid's gonna be very good." Do you kind of play off that a little bit? Kind of walk out there, no offense, but looking kind of goofy?
Yeah,
and then
definitely. Just looking at me like, who's this? Like wearing short shorts, trying to make fun of him right away, and then just come right at him and just, yeah.
So you live off that. You enjoy that. I thought you did. I mean, watching you play this summer, I kind of saw how you did that a little bit. But so once you make it to college, okay? A lot of kids have a goal and a dream to make it to college. What is your goal when you get there and then beyond? Have you thought about that? Set those?
Yeah, when I'm there, I just want to pretty much play all 4 years, and hopefully we can win a national championship. Then after that, I want to go over and hopefully play in Europe for a couple of years if I can, just to see the world and just play professionally. I think would be really fun.
Do you plan to go into coaching like your father?
I might. I have thought about that too, or just running our family business that we have afterwards.
That's awesome. So, like I said before, I was asking you what are some of the things that you do to make you the basketball player you are now, some of the skill things you do. One of the things I did with Mitch was he's teaching me how to punt, okay? So I'd like for you and I to go to the basketball court, and I want you to show me some of the moves that you practice and you do, and then maybe you can try to beat me one-on-one. Do you think that's possible?
Sounds good to me.
Do you think it's possible?
Yeah.
And then at the end, we have this thing called Meach Madness, for those that watch the show, and that's where we have a shooting contest. Okay. So, after the one-on-one, we'll have a little shooting contest as well. But every guest that comes on, you have to sign the basketball because you're going to be, like, famous one day, right? Something like that?
Maybe.
Now, while you sign the basketball, every guest that comes on gets asked a question about Jay-Z. Now, Jay-Z is my favorite rapper, right, Nick?
Yes.
Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good. He knows that. So I'm going to ask you a question, see if you get it right. All right, I got to think of one. Now, you were in Jersey, right? Mm-hmm. So what area in New York is Jay-Z, a.k.a. Sean Carter, from?
Brooklyn?
Brooklyn's right. Let's take it one step further. What area in Brooklyn? What projects?
I'm going to say I don't really know any, but say Do or Die, Best Die.
No, that's Biggie Smalls. That's a good guess.
That's the only one I think I know.
Marcy Projects. And a good story, I'll tell you a good story real quick. In Brooklyn, where they built the new center where the Nets play, across the street is where Jay-Z grew up. So he literally could stand on top of his roof where he grew up and look at the Barclays Center. And that's where he grew up, and he was a part owner at one time of the Nets. You knew that, right?
Yeah, I didn't know
So that's kind of cool, right? At least you got the Brooklyn part, right? That's good. So I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And now it's time for me to beat you one-on-one.
All right.
Sound good?
Sound good.
All right. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
Viewer discretion is advised.